Wii Sports Baseball, a game which involves intense batting mechanics, fierce pitching playstyles, and demonic explosions. What? But the Wii Sports Baseball World Cup was no ordinary competition. After battling their way through the knockout rounds, reigning champions, the Stoke-on-Trent Steamers, had suffered a terrible injury to one of their best players, Beanus. Rather than pulling a hamstring or something, however, he had actually exploded into a massive evil tornado. So the situation wasn't great, and it was made even worse by the fact that they were down to only 9 players. With team wildcard Xavier and substitute Ozymandias currently stranded at sea, lose any more players and they would be kicked out the competition for good. Would they make it through the round of 16 unscathed? And if I just turn the integer upside down, discombobulate the coefficient and focus on the hypotenuse, then I should be ready for Moonball Strategy 3.0. Ooh, right on the line, Sarah. This one's going right on the line. Curses, I must have forgotten to wear my lucky underpants today. The Steamers' opposition, Breadcrust Rovers, were reading them like a book. Okay, just pump a bit harder this time, Darren. Right you are, Chief. Oh my giddy aunt, that curve was insane! And tricking Scalene with a chin whistler of a pitch, under the instruction of Smellin' Helen, the Breadcrust fielders were unbelievably disciplined, and the Steamers' first innings came to a close. Why can't we have a captain like that? They weren't saying it, but Engine Room could tell that seeds of doubt were beginning to grow within his ranks. And sure, he had made some bad decisions this tournament, hiring 3 basketball players to play in his baseball team assuming they were basically the same sport, then benching one of those players in favour of a commentator. I'm Ron Johnson. Yes, we know Ron. As well as allowing one of his best batters to leave mid-tournament even though they were desperate for numbers and facing permanent expulsion from the competition. In all fairness though, they were the targets of some sort of organised crime, and it wasn't his fault that Beanus had turned into the human incarnation of a wood-burning stove. More than anything, it was his handling of these situations that had alienated members of his team. In benching Ozymandias, not only had he scared away his substitute, he had angered the other new recruits. In staying in the competition, he was putting his players in danger, whilst being forced to conceal the whole truth, breaking trust with his most reliable companions. Right, so we'll have Scalene, Spinney and Barnowl infield, then I'll go central outfield and we'll go with Ron on the right. No, we can't have Ron deep. He can barely catch a cold, never mind a pop fly. Then how did I catch this rare disease known as love, Scalene? If only it was you I could hold within my hands. I agree, Engine Room. Breadcrust Rovers hit to the right 51% of the time. It would be better for him to be on the left where he would face only 49% of shots. They were answering back to him. This had never happened before. Well, listen, Why are we even still here? Just to suffer? Don't worry, nothing's wrong, Spinney. Nothing is wrong at all. Everything is fine. Engine Room said so. I could carry Ron on my shoulders and then throw him at the ball so he can't miss. That won't be necessary, Mr. Picnic, because I trust Ron. You what? Ooh, yes, I am very trustworthy. Give me the details to your credit cards. Engine Room, I know you naturally place a lot of faith in people, but... Hand me your children. I won't drop them. He's going on the right, and I'm willing to depend on him. Ooh, yeah, depend on me. You're depending on me. With the team now questioning Engine Room's sanity as well as his tactics, him fumbling his next catch didn't do much in the way of instilling any confidence. Especially once he did it again immediately afterwards. The cracks were beginning to show. Pipe was pitching as wide as possible to close off any chance of hitting right field. It was working. That is, until a left-hander stepped up to the plate and sent the ball spiralling into the air. Oh no, it was gonna fall just right of centre, too far for engine room to make up the ground when, out of nowhere, Ron swooped in and wrapped a commanding glove around the ball. I did it. I'm grabbing balls like my ex-wife on a Saturday night. But the rest of his sentence couldn't be heard over the jubilant screams and hollers of his fans. I never doubted him. I've listened to all of his commentary and his ASMR podcasts. I told you he was Ron Johnson. He literally is Ron Johnson. With this out-of-character moment of brilliance, the team was shaken from their sullen state. Spinny Winnie proving particularly re-energized as she sprung upon a loose ball, her eyes wide as the teams changed sides. Even a broken clock was right twice a day, and it seemed Engine Room's tactics were paying dividends. But the Steamers were still only one run ahead, and they needed to capitalise on this fortune. Unfortunately, despite Barnow getting decent purchase on the ball, Smelling Helen once again snorted through her sizable nostrils, sniffing out the ball's trajectory. It's coming to you again, Sarah, and Barnow was caught out. Spinny Winnie should have been stepping up to bat in fine form, but for whatever reason, she seemed to be shaking. In fact, she appeared to have very little control of her bat at all, and was struck out without even threatening to hit the ball properly. I'm perfect. Oh, well, good for you. But you don't seem to be doing so perfect. I'm just sad about Ozymandias, Mr. Picnic, okay? Sad? No, I would never be sad. I'm a god. What is there to be sad about? It's okay, Mr. Picnic. Listen, me and you will talk in a bit. I've just got something I need to do first. Now just stay calm, everyone. Calm? He looks like he's been barbecued. Oh, Beanus, even as a crisp I still love you. Where's that blasted rock salesman anyway? Winnie, are you heading in? I need you to search the locker rooms for a man with a nondescript, slightly questionable accent. The rock salesman. Got it, I'll look for him. Oh, thank you. She seems to be in a bit of a hurry. Which one is it? Which one is it? I'll stop after this one. Ooh, passion fruit flavour. It's very tangy. Bit tart, actually. They could do with taking the edge off. Oh no, look what I've done now. I'm going to be done for vandalism and everyone will find out. Wait a second, what on earth is that? Was it a bird? Was it a plane? Oh yeah, it was just a plane. But it was who was inside of the plane that counted. Hurtling through the air, Wrinkles felt the wind in his one remaining strand of hair. At 101 years old, wind speeds like this could potentially just take all of his skin off. However, the wrinkles in his face that gave him his name had a nice streamlining effect. Nonetheless, he was still falling. He wanted to reach the stadium as fast as possible, but not if it meant splatting onto the pavement when he arrived. He was not so stupid, and he had brought just the right person with him. Do the thing, Smaug! Taking Wrinkles' hand, Smaug suddenly began to transform. A great pair of scaly wings sprouted from her back, and she soared with unparalleled grace through the hole in the ceiling and down into the stadium. Oof, well, the hip replacement seems to be holding up. Good dismount, everyone, good dismount. Wow, you must be Smaug. I've heard the team talk about you before, but I never thought you were actually a real monster. Oh, I meant that in a good way, sorry. And I suppose based on the bright banana yellow of your shirt, that you've been covering our shifts. No greetings right now, though. I'm afraid time is of the essence. If you would. Oh, yeah, this way. Grandad! Engine room. I got your call. I know, because I was talking to you on the other end of the call. Wrinkles? Bungus? Oh, squash the beef, would you? We've got trouble. Yes, quite right. The rock salesman has disappeared. Why, didn't you try using the secret signal? Secret? What? Dear, dear, dear. Imagine not knowing the call of the rock salesman. Dearie, dearie me. Yes, all right. What do we do then? Lucia, still have that euphonium of yours? Yeah, but why? Here, play this. For a secret call, it's not very discreet. Oh-ho! What a pleasing melody, like the wind whistling through the mountain caves. I am the rock salesman. Would you like to buy a rock? My old friend. Your face may have eroded since we last met, but I sense you are still strong, like a slab of granite. And next up, it seems we have the formidable godly figure of Mr. Picnic. Oh, yeah, I forgot the game was still going on. Mr. Picnic gripped his bat with his usual swaggering confidence, but for the first time, maybe in his life, something was bothering him. He couldn't get over Spinny's comment. She was offering to talk with him. Why? And even stranger for that matter, why did he feel like it was a good idea? He had nothing to say. Did he? All this ruminating had resulted in something he nor anyone else ever thought possible. He had mishit it. He, Mr. Picnic, had made a mistake. That was, I wanted to get out because... Hard luck, Mr. Picnic. Let's keep things going. Hard luck? I do not bow to the mistress known as Luck. I am Luck. I am a god. But he soon realised everyone was ignoring him. Oh, typical, and now we're fielding. Hold that thought, Grandad. As the teams changed sides, despite everything that was going on around him, Pipe was feeling optimistic. At least that's what he was telling himself. I am feeling fabulous, he repeated under his breath as he pitched two of the worst balls he had ever thrown. The second of which was hit so high in the air that Mindbrain started taking notes for his moonball strategy. Fortunately, it would not go the distance, and Spinny Winnie was perfectly positioned to... Oh no, she dropped it. But what about the baseball juice? She worried. She was obviously building up some sort of tolerance to this stuff. Maybe just another few sips wouldn't hurt, and feeling the power course through her veins, she was back in form, this time trapping the ball with an iron grip. See, everything was just fine, thought Pipe as he fumbled an easy catch that Barnall had to pounce on. The Breadcrust Rovers tied up the score, and at this point Pipe was so hyper-focused on remaining positive that his pitches weren't even reaching the plate. However, from sniffing copium to sniffing something else, Spinny Winnie was on such a rush that their pitcher's poor form didn't even matter. And as they transitioned into the third innings, it was now Engine Room's turn to bat. This was his chance for redemption, especially now his granddad was watching. He wanted to become the beacon of strength his team needed. Enough with the poor decisions. He may be this team's captain, but trust was not given, it was earned. Using his many years of experience, Engine Room struck the ball with the perfect arc. It nestled itself safely into the back of the lower stand, and the Steamers had regained the lead. Now, to consolidate his team's faith in him, stepped up the man in which he had placed his trust. Come on, Ron Johnson, he thought. Prove them all wrong. Show them why I believed in you, but... Oh my god! It's Smaug! I'm such a big fan! Okay, collect yourself, Ron. Strike one. Smaug, I've read all of your books. The Hobbit? I think that's probably it, but I've read it multiple times. Strike two. Wait, Smaug is back? Oh, she's back alright. Sign my mustache. And strike three. Strike. Batter out. Ron had not repaid Engine Room's faith, and so the Steamers fell back into a slump, as Pipe, still having the worst game of his life but feigning a grin from ear to ear nonetheless, was caught out. With Mindbrain getting ever closer to whatever his moonball technique was, and Spindle counteracting the effect of Darren's billows using the suction of her gaping mouth, the Steamers did manage to pick up a couple of doubles before being entirely struck out. They would enter the final stage of the game with a 2-run cushion. But would it be enough? As the players spread back out onto the field, Engine Room took up position on the far side of the pitch, right next to the stands. So, you two know each other then? But of course, since all the way back in my old samurai days. In some ways, that is where this saga began. It was the year 1999, deep in the Edo period of Wuhu Island's history. On the day of the great samurai competition, the town was full of celebration. That is, until the ground started to shake. A host of ships appeared off the shore, and the island was ravaged by bandits. I lived in a small shop along with my friend the Grand Announcer. Hang on, Grandad, you've told this story before. Pipe sent another poor pitch straight down the barrel, but Barnowl used his razor-sharp reactions to pull off an amazing instinctual catch. Yes, your Grandad repelled the bandits almost single-handedly. He saved our people, but he could not save my shop. My home was destroyed, along with my rock collection. My life's work. I had lost everything, and so I went to the volcano and prepared myself for the end. But in my darkest hour, the island showed a ray of hope. Your grandfather lay unconscious, and next to him, stones that shone like the stars of the night sky. The people around here tell tales of an orb of wisdom, but very few know of its other title, Heaven's Testicles. One was of dazzling pink, the other a shimmering gold. I had stumbled upon this treasure by chance, but it felt to me the island was asking me to protect them.
So the rumors are true. I had always suspected the orb was this World Cup's secret prize, but if there's two, what about the other one? Another pitch ran straight down the middle, a rasping shot to first base, but Spindle was its equal. Just one more out to go.
What followed for me was many months of pain. Wrinkles tried to make sure I was fed, but he had family. I had no home, and nobody would buy my rocks in such a time of crisis. I became an outcast, and eventually, in a moment of weakness, I caved in to desperation. I sold the golden gemstone in return for a house and a lifetime supply of pom bears. It seemed like a great deal at the time, but now we start to see the terrible consequences of my foolish mistake.
Why? Who was it? Who bought the second orb? All of a sudden, Beanus began to fluctuate just as Pipe went to throw his next pitch. He had started well with an excellent strike, but...
Just stay calm, ladies and gentlewomen. We seem to be having a malfunction with the stadium's roof.
The shutters began to close.
Beanus! Oh, I'm here! I'm right here! You must keep fighting!
The ground became dimmer and dimmer, until, as Pipe pitched the final ball, they were thrust into darkness. Go, now! There was a rush of bodies. Dark shadows were moving around them.
What's going on?
Ow! Scalene, are you okay? Then, a spark. The shutters jolted back open, light cascaded onto the pitch, and all eyes collectively moved to the ball, which now sat comfortably in the backstop's gloves.
Yes, and I think that's a strikeout. They've won it. The Steamers are through to the quarters.
Are we? I couldn't see.
Yes, we must be. What a final pitch. Great work, Pipe. Pipe? Hold on. Where's Pipe?
Play ball!